as the field of 42 race cars will lead us off of turn 4, race 3 of this 2024 season is about to get underway. Samuel England, a different energy drink car on the pole for this race. It was Bobby Jones the first 2 races. Samuel England in the 82 leading the field. His teammate to the outside, Anthony Marchese. The Red Bulls have not been that good to start the season. Looking to turn their program around. Dylan Schwellenberg in the 11, trying to push his way up on the inside. Dejon Weeks, last year's champion in the 30 car, has not had the best success at the start of this season, but he qualified well, should be a contender for this race all 50 laps. They are sliding up against the wall. The 83's in the wall, crashing further back. It's one of the championship contenders. The 25 is spinning. Shade Eves in the 15 is spun. And Eves in the 15 car is out of the race already. Typical racing at California. All ready to start this one. You can see how they were just trying to find grip. There was none. The 83, 45, 18, 4 all hit the wall. Jordan Davis, who rallied a big ton of points with a second place finish at Decatur. There was the crash. And well, he got into the 25 and the 15 and spun them around. Dylan Young in the 70 is out of this one as well. It's up of strategy further back. Looks like the pole sitter, Samuel England, gonna bring in Jesse Tunner, Sean Perkins, and a handful of others. Everyone's on pit road other than a few race cars. Some people stayed out. It's pretty interesting to see how this ends up shaking up the running order. And looks like we're only 2 cars out of the race. We talked about it. Shade Eves, Dylan Young. But looking further back in this field, we got a lot of cars that have moved up the running order. This could shake up a ton of things in the pecking order. Looking for the first car that rolled off. It looks like there's the 82, the 88, Noah Hart, Mitchell Collins, Nick Breeding, Gatlin Laker McDermott, Zayden Davidson, Dejon Weeks, Dunlap Brad, Dane Stinson, Dylan Schwellenberg are the only ones that stayed out. Schwellenberg trying to check out and get away from this big gaggle of cars behind him. In the opening laps, they're 4 wide back here for about 8th place. Ryan Butcher, Jesse Tunner, DJ Curtis, Jordan Davis, a lot of big-name drivers, but can they make some big-name moves through turns 3 and 4? Everyone keeps it off the barrier. Very lucky to escape with no accident off of turn 4. That's what happens when you have some phenomenal racers in the mix of a pack. 4 wide, even further back, scattered back into 3 wide. Oh, Charles Sanford sliding up into Matthew Rodriguez. Rodriguez lifting off the throttle. Daytona 500 champion James Shelley catches the wall. And James Shelley, he was in the wall a lap ago, and he is on the apron. The caution flag is out, and looks like James Shelley may have went for a spin. Shelley was losing positions after winning the Daytona 500. Reality set in, hit the safer barrier. This season has been very bizarre, catching the outside wall and a lot of contact with the barrier this season, even at Daytona and Decatur, has spelled disaster. Shelley clipping the safer barrier and spun the race car. No luck in round 2 or round 3 for James Shelley, losing valuable points. This is going to be interesting. Everyone that did stay out is going to pit. Don't know what this is going to mean for strategy, but everyone that did have track position is immediately giving it away, and it is going to restart at the tail end of the pack. Look like they're actually topping off the fuel. No change of tires. Back and underway once again, and James Shelley is out of the race. Will pick up only 1 point for this race weekend. A shame for James Shelley, who had started off on the right foot. And if that trend of champions, of the Daytona 500 champions, winning the Daytona 500, going on to win the series championship, looks pretty bleak, honestly, after 3 races. Ryan Butcher is in the lead. DJ Curtis, who has had a pretty phenomenal start to the season. He's been in the top 10 in both races. Sean Perkins hitting the wall in the 0-3. Nick Breeding as well caught the outside wall. Ryan Griffin, who was not in the Daytona 500 or at Decatur, is inside the top 10. And Ryan Griffin, a previous winner at this track. Matt Rodriguez entering the top 5 as well. Will Goss, Ryan Butcher, Jesse Turner all ran very well in the Daytona 500. Decatur was a very different story for a lot of these guys. Turner's got company with the 51 lifts, trying to get a run off the corner. Everyone's struggling with grip. Oh man, looked like somebody nearly got turned on the right here in the back of the field. Might have been Dylan Schwallenberg. Tough break for Nick Brady. He's had a good start in the first 2 races, but for the 3rd race, he's on pit road. That damage he suffered on the right side of the car has brought him down pit road. A lot of cars bouncing off the wall. We can hear it on pit road, focusing on Nick Brady. The pole, and it looks like it's the 93. Ryan Butcher has dropped back tremendously in the 93 Chevrolet. Samuel England also looks like he's dropping back just a little bit. There's DJ Curtis losing some ground. Sean Harple's in the mix with Joseph Shrigley. Cody Lamas is trying to climb his way up the running order. The lead has changed hands to Dom Capps. Capps is in the lead over Will Goss. Jesse Turner working on Ryan Griffin, but Griffin in his first race of the 2024 season has rocketed his way to 3rd. More cars bouncing off the wall. It was England yet again. Scanning through the field. Right now, it is car 6 out in front. The 51 riding the top, a little groove up of the 6 car. Behind him is Griffin, Turner. Sanford in the wall again. Might have been Shrigley that time. These guys very much suffering with their tires, trying to get grip. They are just hauling a lot of speed into the corners, and you can see this with Davidson trying to slide up in front of Eric DeMax. Nothing doing of it there. But is anyone going to catch the wall? DeMax did catch it. Looks like the 15, not the 15, sorry. The 25 teammates, Vince Freeze, who come into this race as the championship leader, I'm pretty sure, with Samuel England catching the wall. Unbelievable run by Dylan Schwallenberg, who stayed out after the first caution, took the lead, ran off from the field, and then another caution comes out. He comes down pit road, tops off with fuel, and now the 11, after starting out back in only a handful of laps, has entered the top 10. Driver deep in the field, Jordan Davis is the last car on the lead lap, slides up almost into Mitchell Collins. Actually, he was into the Mitchell Collins machine. More cars in the wall. It is Noah Hart and Sean Perkins. And Perkins is just riding the wall. This could be very bad if he doesn't get off the wall. And he hits the wall. Perkins in the 0-3. Oh, and Gatlin Downey wants a little Perkins restaurant action, runs right in the back of him, and they're going to need a U-Haul to take that 35 car to the garage area, or even more. Gosh. This is going to bunch the field up yet again. We're going to be about halfway in the running of this. Are they going to pit under this yellow flag? A lot of different strategies. Sanford's coming down pit road. Will Goss is coming down pit road. And a few others as well. There's Peter Onjack, Eric DeMax, and Ryan Butcher. Looks like a bunch of guys that have already bounced off the wall maybe a little bit. There was somebody right there. I thought it was somebody. Must have been the design off the 46. But anyway, some guys are pitting, so a lot of them aren't. Back to the restart. Sean Perkins is out of the race now with Gatlin Downey, James Shelley, Shade Eves, and Dylan Young back to green. Dylan Schwallenberg has been the name to watch. Started out back, his teammate Cody Lamas is just behind him. Engine failure for the Red Bull of Anthony Marchese. Gets it all the way down to the flat. And for Anthony Marchese, has just had no luck to start the season. He's going to join a list of 5 out of the race. Make that 6. Keep an eye on this. Want to keep an eye on this. Matt Rodriguez way up the track. He's going to catch the wall. Dylan Schwallenberg just behind. Slight contact. Going to bunch him up. Nearly a crash in the back. Dunlop Rad. RJ Bishop nearly spun around. Dom Capps continues to lead the way, looking to put that 6 car in victory circle. Nick Breeding, I believe, has got fresher tires. He is a lap down, and he's trying to get back on the lead lap. Could make up a lot of points here if he could catch a caution and be back on the lead lap and ahead of the 6 car. Dom Capps has not really had much of a challenge here, and Breeding is going to go to the inside, going to have the preferred line. We've seen this before between Curtis and Turner. Going to have a battle here. And they're racing hard between Charlie Smith and Matthew Rodriguez trying to stay out of the wall. DJ Curtis taking the race lead from Don Capps. The 19 to the inside. Caution flag is out. This is exactly what Nick Breeding wants to see, but he needs to keep the 19 car behind him. Caution flag is out. An accident in turn 1. Looks like it has involved Griffin Lapo McDermott. He was running so well as the last lap. It looked like he was knocking on the door of a top 10 run. Looks like Ryan Acosta, Charlie Smith was also in this one. Nick Breeding will get his lap back. Very interesting. Ryan Acosta and Charles Sanford have retired from this race. I'm not entirely sure why, but under the yellow, they have retired those cars. The 80 Griffin Lapo McDermott was one of those also going out of the race. Only 33 cars are still running. Nobody pitted under that caution flag. Jesse Turner, DJ Curtis normally run really well in the Sony Cup Series and are always a title contender, and they need to turn their season around. Well, Jesse Turner does. DJ Curtis is looking like he's going to try and challenge for another Sony Cup Series title. His teammate Zayden Davidson's been knocking on the door of fighting for it. Shrigley's going to get the wall. Might as well rename this track either Darlington or the Lady in Black, because that's what it feels like. Just the track is just, where are you going to get your racing stripe? Every corner we're just looking and wondering who's going to be the next car to slide up into the wall. We've had many different names try and challenge for a top 10 spot, because any turn you could find yourself in a pretty good position. Blake Warren in the 99, knocking on the door of a top 10 run. He was on the top 10 last lap. Looks like he's trying to fall back a bit. Dylan Schwellenberg was challenging Sean Harple. Don Capps trying to fight back. In the walls, Jordan Davis and Lane Sanders, and crash again. Dunlop Brad, Stuart Gratton, Will Goss, Matthew Rodriguez. And they just keep wrecking. Here's what happened. Up ahead, 4 wide. Well, Jordan Davis caught the wall first. And then Matthew Rodriguez coming along. Lane kind of did come off the wall. He was trying to get off of it. Will Goss come along and then slammed into him as well. And the one car of Dunlop Brad with Stuart Gratton, you're going to see it coming off at the corner. Same thing. And really, they're at the tail end of the field. Gratton, rookie, bouncing off the wall. LaPrade, also a rookie. Blaze McKinney almost got into that. And they were at the back end of the field when this happened. Getting back and underway of racing once again. Matthew Rodriguez has fallen a lap down. This is going to be very treacherous. Rodriguez a lap down, going to be dangerously slow. Cybertron Motorsports teammates at the lead of the pack. Davidson, who spun at Decatur while running in the top 5, will be looking to try and get a win here, to try and turn it around, get some momentum on his side. Really, if you stay out of the wall, you'll have a ton of momentum. Figuratively and in your mind, really, because if you keep off the wall, you're going to be going a whole lot faster than half a dozen that do hit the wall. There's Cody Lamas that's in the wall. Can't keep it off the barrier and freeze. Oh man, Jordan Davis nearly ran over Lamas. This move by Dylan Schwellenberg. Schwellenberg in the 11 nearly dive bombed the 6 car. Dylan Schwellenberg, who started out back, he literally was like starting 33rd in line a few cautions ago and made up a ton of positions, got in the top 10. Look at Blake Warren trying to slide job his teammate Davidson, trying to keep it off the wall. Holy moly, this has been insane racing. Dane Stinson really slow off the corner. He did not hit the wall, but he slowed up like he did. Looked like RJ Bishop in the 0-1 might have bounced off the wall. He keeps on going, but here comes Dylan Schwellenberg now with 10 laps to go. He's trying to run down DJ Curtis. He knows the laps are ticking away. A caution flag can eliminate 4 laps right away. So you know you got to get to the front. Time is ticking away. DJ Curtis looking to add another race win to his resume in the Sony Cup Series. Blake Warren trying to get up there with a fellow Mercedes. Oh man, Ryan Griffin nearly caught the wall himself. Eric DeMax is back in the picture. Last year's champion John Weeks has entered the top 10. Davidson sliding backwards. Warren just like that. Warren in the wall. Ryan Griffin trying to get around him. Slows up as well. The inside moves up another lane and few positions. Harple passes Weeks. Onjack looks to try and challenge Harple as well. Don Capps, who had lost positions a lap ago, trying to battle for 3rd, but the battle for the lead is intensifying. Dylan Schwellenberg all over the back bumper of DJ Curtis, nearly shoving the 19 through the corner. He's got such a better turn through the corner. And Dylan Schwellenberg doing exactly what the Curtis Racing team is wanting him to do. Go out and win races. Contend for the championship. Dylan Schwellenberg has never won the Sony Cup Series title. And even though DJ Curtis has come into this season as one of the favorites, he lets Schwellenberg go. This point system they're racing under this season, they have to be very careful and mindful for how they race. A DNF could very much hurt them in the grand scheme of things. Last year, it was the top 10 getting points, so if you finished 11th or 40th, it really didn't matter if you didn't score or not. Top 5s were ultra important. The win was very important. But with 1 point in it from first to second, DJ Curtis knows that. He's got to race smart. He's won championships doing that before. Same thing with Jesse Turner in third position. Dom Cap, Sean Harple, a very experienced top 5. You're not going to believe this. Nick Breeding, who was on the pit road going a lap down, had fresher tires, raced his way back on the lead lap with help from a caution, has entered the top 10. At least it looks like that. He's past Joseph Strigley, who has just now fell out of the top 10. Same as Zayden Davidson. Nick Breeding. Could this guy be in the running for the Sony Cup Series Championship? He's had two good results to start the season, and he's looking at a third. A call to Team Velocity as we come to 5 laps to go. Dom Capps is running in the top 5. Peter Onjak in the 4 is right behind him with Ryan Griffin. All 3 race cars are up inside the top 10, and with a little bit of an adjustment, could have possibly ran with the leaders and contested the race win. The field is spreading out. Dom Capps gets around Sean Harple for 4th position. Jesse Turner trying to chase down DJ Curtis, but it doesn't look like he's got enough of it. Dylan Schwellenberg looks like he might be keeping DJ Curtis at arm's length. He's not exactly pulling away by a whole lot, but one mistake by Dylan Schwellenberg and Curtis is right there, but we know how good of a driver Dylan Schwellenberg is, and he's likely just keeping Curtis enough behind that he doesn't have to worry too much. Big gaggle of cars head off into turn 1. This is really from 16th on back. Jordan Davis in the 16th trying to fight back. Nearly a crash as Davison bounces off the wall. And they're going to go 4 wide. England, the pole sitter, leans over on Mitchell Collins. Collins leans back on the 82. This is with less than 4 laps to go. There's a crash up ahead. Oh, big crash! Sean Harple, Peter Onjak. Onjak was in the top 10. Zayden Davidson in a very dangerous position on the racetrack, able to get going. Cody Lama still sitting very dangerously there on the sideways on the racetrack. Lucky no one else is really coming. But for Cody Lamas and Zayden Davidson, this is not what they needed to have happen. The caution flag waves, and the race is over. Dylan Schwellenberg has rallied from pretty much dead last at one point in the race to getting into the race lead, and is now going to be the race winner here at California over DJ Curtis, Jesse Turner on the podium. But we got to make one more lap before we get you to the finish of the race. 3 wide for 4th on back. Harple gets tagged by Ryan Griffin. Harple goes spinning, and Onjak really whole lot of nowhere for him to go, and then gets hit by Bobo Jones. Harple extends and ride the wall to try and miss the accident. And the 91 and the 48, who were not having the best of races, trying to get to the inside. And looks like they're going to run slap into Bobo Jones. And, man, that could have been very bad. They got going as quickly as they could. And, well, Lamas and Davidson, and not exactly the start of the season that they would have liked. The race comes to a close. Dylan Schwellenberg is going to win race 3 of the 2024 season, ahead of DJ Curtis in 2nd, Jesse Turner 3rd, Don Capps 4th, Ryan Griffin in 5th, Eric DeMack 6th, Nick Breeding in 7th. A great result for him to rally back from a lap down. Insane. Blake Warren in 8th, Ryan Butcher 9th, and last year's champion Dejon Weeks rounds out the top 10. Well, that was a pretty chaotic one. No one really had much of a chance to keep their car from outside of the wall. They were sliding out there so much. They could not keep their cars out of the outside wall, and thus a lot of accidents today. Very chaotic. It's been a very crazy start to the season, but an insane one nonetheless, and I'm very glad to be commentating this race for you all. If you can, give this video a like and join us in the Discord down below if you're already not in it. And yeah, we will see you guys for race 4, and let's get you to the finishing results and the standings following race 3.